strength.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Buffalo Bill, Warren, Justin, Patrick, Mendy, JK, Whitney, Mark, Eric, welcome, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Hope you guys are all doing well this lovely Monday. Kenneth, good morning. I'm not quite sure what I wanted to do today. I thought maybe we would quest in Dragonblight, but then I saw how much we have going on in Howling Fjord, so maybe we'll spend a little bit more time in Howling Fjord. Eventually, I think I'll be ready to move on and just see something a little bit different. We're not going to need every quest in every zone with the Joyous Journeys buff, so there's not really a reason to try to be like completionist about it. I'd like to see a little bit of all the zones, if we could. Justin, did I do a new Hunter video? I recorded one this morning, but that won't go up till tomorrow. Yeah, I didn't do a lot over the weekend. My wife left town yesterday, and I did not do a lot of work over the weekend. Is there still a guild? I mean, as far as I know. Yes, it looks like there is still a guild. Yeah. Not a lot of people online in the middle of the day on a Monday, but yes. Alright. Spray Proto-Dragon eggs. Oh, okay. Who doesn't just want to spray some eggs? What else? Vicral bones. Everything is kind of spread all over the place. Let's head over here first. The guild's busy after 5 o'clock. You mean the times of the day that I never play? That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, most people have time to play in the evening. The fact that we get so many people online during the day is actually kind of amazing. It's a lot of people for the middle of the day on a Monday. Yeah, I don't often play that late. The only reason that I will play that late typically, maybe when we start raiding. Maybe one of our raid nights will be like a Friday night, and that would probably be the only way that I would be on after 5. Alright, so we're spraying eggs. I'm assuming we are using whatever this item is. Okay. Oh, so we are plaguing them. How wonderful are we? We are worse than the Titans. We are plaguing them inside of their eggs. And they're coming out plagued, and then we are killing them. So that's good. I'm sure there's nothing wrong with that. YouTube forcing you to watch an ad sounds like putting profits over users, Red Robin? Oh no. Are you saying that YouTube would prioritize profits over its users? Not a megacorp in America. There's no way they would ever do that. I'll write them a heartfelt email, and I'm sure they'll take it back, and they'll probably offer you a personal apology, if I had to guess. The Headless Horseman is hyperspawn on retail? I feel like on retail, like everything has to be hyperspawn. It's the only way to keep people interested. Yeah, like, if things in retail are not, like, instantaneous gratification, then there's no way people would even play it. So, it makes sense. Can I spray more than one egg at a time? I'd love to spray a bunch of eggs and fight a bunch of guys. No, I can't. It's a one at a time type of thing. Speaking of retail, how many people are getting excited for 10.2? Are we on 10.2? How many people are excited for 10.2? We're popping the eggs with like random AoE damage before I can even spray them, so it's going to be slow going. I always get tempted to go back to retail patches for like the story segments, and then I have to remind myself that like typically I'm always very disappointed with usually with the amount of actual story there is. It'll be like a 7 quest long chain, and then that'll be it for the week. And then you gotta wait till the next week or however they do it now. I remember trying to play like the 9.2 story stuff back in Shadowlands when 9.2 came out. Also the last patch of that expansion, and the worst part about it was like you had this much to do every week. You had so little to do that you couldn't even enjoy like whatever coherent narrative there was, because it was broken up like and given to you piecemeal like a week at a time. And I feel like if it's like a small chunk of story, the best thing to do is just let people play through all of it at their own pace and not try to time gate it. But they tend to time gate all of their story stuff when they drop a new patch. And so yeah, I always think maybe I'll go back and check out the new story. It's like, no, you can't just go back and check out the new story, because that takes like it's like a month-long commitment, because you have to log in every single week to get like the couple of new quests that they add. You can't just go in like for a day, play for 3 hours, and see all the new story that there is in the new patch. They literally force you to play, like, you gotta log in at least once a week. I don't really want to do that. I'd love to log in and just do all the story stuff and just be done with the patch, you know. Uninstall the game again and be done, and like see whatever happens to the Night Elves and their new world tree. But I guess that's what noble videos are for. Damien, good afternoon. Welcome to the stream. Nerdstrong, good afternoon to you. Thanks for stopping by. Apparently somewhere over there. Oh, okay, I see. I see. I just wasn't looking up high enough. I didn't see his quest. Sorry about the Lions. Yeah, every team is gonna have a bad game. Like, it's fine. They're 5-2 now. They're still in a really good standing for the division, and every team comes up against another team that they just don't have an answer for. And that was kind of what happened. Like, the Lions' defense, they just didn't have an answer for the Ravens' offense. They couldn't figure it out, you know? And that happens. So, I'm fine with it. I didn't watch most of the game. Once it was clear they were going to lose, like, I used my time more wisely. I got a workout in. I went for a walk with my kid and my dog. Like, I did other stuff because it was clear they just didn't have an answer for the Ravens. It was a rough one. But yeah, it happens to everybody. James, you hope I was able to make myself some food over the weekend? Yeah, yesterday was the first day my wife was gone. That was only part of the day. But yeah, I managed to make a lunch and a dinner. And I have like 15 more meals to go. and we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so over here we're just killing some Vicryl. Okay. That's what it looks like. Skeld Drakeson. David, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you. Welcome. Thanks for being here. I noticed we have a little bit of extended maintenance tomorrow. Usually it's like an hour-long maintenance, but apparently tomorrow it's going to be a 2-hour maintenance, which it gets kind of annoying. It gets a little bit bothersome when like week after week after week there's like extended maintenance and there's an extra maintenance day, and it's like, yeah, I get it. Most people are at work during this time of day. And they don't give a crap if the servers are down until 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock. But as someone who like exclusively plays during the day, it really sucks to have so much maintenance. I really don't like it. I don't understand it. Damien, I appreciate you stopping by, man. Have a good day at work. Karen, good evening to you. All is well with me. I hope you're doing well. don't know where this guy's at. Is he just in the building? That would be the easiest thing. Yeah, he's nowhere tricky. He's just inside the building. Of course he is. Oh, we were so close to being able to mount up. Killed your leader. Peace out. Is anything here an upgrade? Apparently the ring is an upgrade for one of our rings. 16% upgrade. Yeah, the music here has been amazing. It's one of the reasons why we're still here. Let's have a look. Probably over this one. Attack power 52, attack power 24. Alright, apparently that's all he has for us. Now where are we going? We can come down here and turn that one in. Or we could go this way and get Dragon Flayer Patriarch's Blood. Okay, let's do that really quick. Sven, good afternoon. Welcome to the stream. We have a lonesome quest over here. I'm not sure if we ever figured out what it was for. The Dead Rise. Okay, sounds good. Sounds right up our alley.
I will hear you.
No, I will hear you. Find some people. I'll find some clues.
Stay warm.
Okay. Where are we? We're finding clues apparently down this way. Which is good. We have another quest down there anyway. The music in the zone is good. It's a shame the quests are poo. Yeah. The quests have been okay, but I did think today that maybe I wanted to go into Dragonblight for like a change of pace. I like the scenery here, I like the music, but yeah, I'm not like the biggest fan of Howling Fjord. But Howling Fjord I've learned is better than Borean Tundra. So maybe that means I'm not a fan of a lot of the zones. Like, I guess like Grizzly Hills, Crystal Song Forest is really cool, but you don't do a lot of questing there. And we'll see how Dragonblight is. Sorry, killed your leader. Peace out. I love just dropping off the mount, killing their leader, and flying away. Like, nobody raises the alarm, nobody does anything. It's great. You thought I said Dragonflight for a second? Well, I was talking about Dragonflight earlier. I'm really curious if anybody's going to go back and check out 10.2. I almost thought about it, and then I realized how they time gate the story whenever they drop a new patch.
What is it? Trust no one.
I wish I could feel like... I want to know the story of, like, the new world tree. I like the Night Elves a lot. They're one of my favorite races. And I would love to know, like, what happens to the Night Elves. And I'd love to see, like, their story come to, like, some kind of fruition. But my worry is, like, a lot of the time, like... retail, they don't do a good job of telling you the whole story when you're playing the game. Like, half of the story is in a cinematic that they only put on their YouTube channel, that plays at a weird time maybe if you are playing through the quest. Like, I don't know. I wish I could feel like the best way to get the new story of the Night Elves would be to actually play the game. But I feel like the best way to get the new story of the Night Elves is to wait for like Noble or Bellular to make a lore video and just get it that way. It really sucks. Like, I want retail. I want to think about retail, and I want to be like, yeah, the best way to experience the story of the Night Elves is to play. But they haven't taught me that. They have, in 20 years, they haven't taught me that the best way to experience the story is to play. They've taught me that when the gameplay is good, it's fun to play, but that ultimately for the story, you just want to watch a YouTube video because it's not going to come across right while you're playing the game. And that sucks. Alright, so let's go to the south here. We have some guys to kill, we have some clues to find. We also have something going on back here that maybe we just picked it up, maybe I just completely missed it. The Alliance have better quests here. It's crazy, Mark. The Alliance have better quests in the World of Warcraft. Basically, exclusively, period. End of sentence. Yeah, I think it's fair to say that like basically anywhere the questing is different, anywhere there are two different paths, one for Horde, one for Alliance, which stopped being the case eventually. But anytime that was true, I feel like the Alliance quests are better. Think about the difference in BFA between like Borealis Harbor and the stupid Zeldraki Pyramid. They even have better towns and better hubs. Getting around the pyramid was like a huge pain in the butt. Getting around Borealis Harbor was absolutely fine once you could remember where the teleportation portal room was. But yeah, I feel like Alliance always has a better time. I just feel like that's true. And the only really great thing that the Horde has is, well, the Horde has Blood Elves, and that's about it. The Tauren Heritage armor is neat. Like, the armor is neat, or the quest line is neat. Or a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. I'd like to do the Night Elf Heritage armor. I guess that would require me to have, like, a level 50 Night Elf in retail. And then I would have to install retail. And then I would have to log into retail. That's like a lot of steps. I don't know if I'm ever going to do any of that. Okay, we are doing Nexus. All the Horde BFA zones had dinosaurs? Yes, they did have dinosaurs, and that was really cool. It was really cool that they had dinosaurs. My son got a kick out of that. Yep. But they also had Vulpera. So I feel like it kind of negates it, you know? They had basically an entire zone of Vulpera. And Snake People. The Snake People were okay. But then there was the Vulpera. I appreciated the dinosaurs. When I was playing BFA, that was probably my son's like peak interest in dinosaurs. You know how like every kid has a phase where they're interested in dinosaurs. that was like when he was at his peak. Like he had like dinosaur fever, he knew all of their names and stuff like that. And that was when I was playing some BFA. And so that was really cool that those two things overlapped. Yeah, Nerdstrong 10.2 is the final major patch for Dragonflight. Now that being said, there's going to be a 10.25 and a 10.27. So technically, like the last patch will be 10.27. But as far as major patches, 10.2 is it. There's not going to be a 10.3 for Dragonflight. So there will probably be some additions and some more story content and stuff though. Like once you get the 10.27. Yeah, it's a short expansion. That's because player numbers are in the toilet. Yeah, they hired hundreds of new developers. They cranked out content faster and more furiously than they have ever done before, and player numbers are at an all-time low. Like as far as people completing endgame content, it's like half the people that completed endgame content in Shadowlands. So yeah, so we're not gonna have a 10.3. It's all gonna be wrapped up in a nice little bow by 10.2.7. I feel like WoW is probably gonna start moving towards attempting yearly expansions, because they gotta make money, and like the biggest way for them to make money is to sell box copies. And the biggest way to create hype in the player base is a new expansion. So like I feel like they're trying to get to a point where they can do a new expansion every calendar year. They crank out enough content for it, you know. If they focus that creation a little bit more like judiciously, they probably could make enough content to release an expansion every year. Well, yeah. One of the biggest ways to make money is an in-game store, but an in-game store doesn't generate a lot of hype. So if you want to make money and you want to make hype, then you have yearly expansions. Yearly expansions also like allow you to pivot. Like it allows you to pivot your story or pivot your gameplay if things are not really going well in the current expansion. You're not stuck with it for 2 years, you know. If you can do yearly expansions, it allows you to make like significant changes in a much shorter time frame and like be more responsive and adaptable. So it could be good if they could pull it off, you know. Yeah, just wait till 11.0. I've contemplated going back and checking out the story for 10.2 because I'm really interested in what happens with the Night Elves. I want to see them get their world tree. I want to see them have a city again. So I'm really interested in all of that stuff. But then I remembered today how like when a new patch comes out, they time gate the story. You'll do like 5 quests, right? And then it'll end. And then next week they'll drop another couple of quests and then it'll end. It's like, I hate when there's like a 3-hour story and they feel like they need to time gate me over the course of 2 months. I don't like that. You remember Suramar? Does anybody remember doing Suramar and actually reading the quest? The great thing about Suramar was like, at least when I did it, you could do it all at once. So I took a whole day and I did all the Suramar stuff to unlock the Highborn. And the Suramar content was the first time in World of Warcraft that I was like, oh, damn, there's a good story in this questing. I really enjoy this questing for the story. It was the first time I really had that feeling of like, man, these quests are worth reading. I'm so glad that I'm reading all these quests and doing all this content. And that's because I got to do all of the Suramar quests like all at once. And so it probably wasn't released that way initially. It probably was just that way by the time I got around to doing it. But my point is that when you're talking about a 3 to 4 hour like segment of story, it's so much more enjoyable when you get to do it all at once. When you get to do it all at your own pace, and you're not time gated by week after week of like small incremental quests being dropped. It's so bothersome to think that I'm gonna get into the like I'm gonna start the story of the Night Elf like tree, right? I'm gonna do 5 quests, and then it's gonna abruptly end until next week. I just want to be able to get on. I want to be able to do it all. I want to be able to log out, uninstall the game again. But they don't want me to do that. They need me to get on week after week after week, and that is why they time gate even the story. For people who are only interested in story, you still get time gated. Congratulations. Michael Swatter did that in one of their expansions. They drip-fed the story over a couple of months. Yeah, that's the most heinous thing you can do. Especially to gamers who are in it just for the story. It's so fucking awful to them. Because, you know, like, time-gating raids and time-gating gear, like, that's one thing. But when it comes to time-gating story, like, I don't know. It just feels like a really lame thing to do to people. Ooh, did we have a little lag spike? I lost 600 frames, which to be fair is not a lot of frames, but it's still some lost frames. Let me know when we're good. Is there a frost mage in my party? No. No, the party consists of 2 pallies, a druid, and 2 hunters.
Now to finish the job.
We had some brief lag. Yeah. I'd say 600 frames isn't a lot, but it's more than nothing. Thanks, YouTube. YouTube doesn't like it when I talk bad about retail. Robert's going on a negative retail rant. Hit his stream with a lag spike. Do it now. So yeah, with all those thoughts, like, I don't know, I probably won't check out the new story, which really sucks. I'm gonna have to wait until somebody makes a video about it to see it. It's never the same when you experience the story in a video than when you can actually experience it by playing the game. You're just not as attached to it. Like, I really want to know what happens to the Night Elves, but I just don't know if I can reinstall the game and deal with the time gating of the story. I guess I could wait like 3 or 4 weeks, you know. But then it's old news. Then I've already watched a video about it, you know. I don't even care anymore at that point. Emulations, good afternoon. Welcome to the stream. I'm really hoping BlizzCon gives us some reasons to be excited about retail again. It'd be nice to have good feelings and have excitement about the modern version of the game, which is going to get to continue into the future and evolve. It would be nice to have excitement and hype about that version of the game. So I hope they have things to show us, not just tell us, because I think at this point telling us stuff where no one's going to care. I think they have to have some stuff ready to show us at BlizzCon. Like, show me something in retail that blows my mind. Because if you can't show me anything, if all you can do is talk about cool stuff in the future, then I don't believe you. I need to see some really cool stuff about 11.0. Or even about, like, the future patches of Dragonflight, like 10.25, 10.27. I need them to have really cool stuff to showcase. Because it would be nice to be able to be excited about a version of the game that has a future. A future that isn't, like, surrounded by question marks at this point. And nobody say anything about Classic Plus, please. Please don't. Please don't. Yeah, emulations, exactly. By the time a week passes, like, you only did like 5 quests for the story. So you do 5 quests, the story just starts to get going, some of the key characters have moved into place, and then you gotta step away for a week. And then, yeah, and then when you get back, you're like, oh, wait, what? Malfurion was where? Who was doing what? Like, do you even care at that point, you know? It's like time gating like a short story. Like, when you sit down with a short story, you want to read all of it, or at least a chunk of it. You don't want it, like, you don't want to read a couple pages and put it down and come back. Not if it's any good. If it's good, you want to play straight through. And if it's not good, then time gating is not going to help that at all anyway. What about Classic plus, David? We can talk about that, yeah. That's fine. Gamma Classic Plus. Super mode, yes. No, when I talk about like the future of the game, I just wait for someone to say, "What about Classic Plus? Classic Era has a future that's new and different and changing and evolving," and I'm just like, "No, it doesn't. It has a future where like cool stuff can happen. Like we can have seasons of Classic, but we're not gonna have like Classic Plus type of situation anytime soon." And like, here's a question for you: like, how many expansions of Classic Plus do you make before it's not Classic Plus? Before it's just a version of WoW that is a modern version of WoW that is simply different than whatever the current expansion is for retail? Like, I don't know. David, the LFD tool appears for Alliance at level 15. I think it's Horde and Alliance at level 15. I'm pretty sure it opens up for everybody at the same level. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think that like if it opened up at a different level depending on your faction, like players would revolt. Players would not accept that. That would not be okay. If Horde got it at level 13 and Alliance got it at level 15, like people would not stand for that. I'm pretty sure it opens up at the same for everybody. Obviously, I could be wrong. I haven't played on an Alliance character in Wrath recently, so I don't know. I gotta get better at popping Avenging Wrath on cooldown. I always save it for bosses, and then like a lot of the times I forget to pop it on boss fights even. It's not good. I think people think it's higher for Alliance because back in the day, like, you couldn't do dead mines until you were a higher level. But with the looking for dungeon tool, that lets you into Ragefire Chasm as Alliance. I love seeing the hunter like still full on this guy, even though we haven't killed the Rift yet. He's ignoring all the pop-ups that say immune, 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 immune. What should I keep attacking him? Immune. I should keep attacking him, obviously. He's just immune to everything I'm doing. I should obviously keep attacking him. David, you're not sure that your Wrath server has enough people to put together a Deadmines run? Oof. What server are you on, man? You gotta get off that server. Just look for one that's full. Look for a server that's full. I mean, yeah. They need to do the same kind of sharding or whatever they do for Classic Era. They need to clump the realms together. I feel like that would help a lot of people who are on like lower pop Wrath servers if they clump them together. I mean, with LFD, you're already looking cross-server, though. So, yeah, you should be fine. If you're just looking in LFD, you should already be searching cross-server for that. If you were trying to put together, like, a group, like, directly, then, yeah, you would have to have people on the server. But with LFD, you should be okay. Even if your server is kind of dead. Ra, good afternoon. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I'm probably going to do what I normally do. I'm going to pop myself in the queue while I quest. So yeah, if you want to group up and jump into the queue with me, absolutely. If you're going to heal, we might get queues a little bit faster. But yeah, I'm going to do what I was doing before. So we'll just keep queuing up between runs. I am fine with that. Our tank is going to die. I gave him lay on hands, so he gets to live for a couple more seconds, and maybe the healer will step in. This tank must feel a certain way about what just happened. He's not moving yet. It's okay, buddy. You can go ahead and pull. Someone will heal you. Hazard Song shows 34 players on the server total on Warcraft Tavern. Yeah, that sounds like a dead server. I would get off that server ASAP. Rick, this is the looking for dungeon tool. Yeah, I don't know anybody in this run currently. There's some good old-fashioned random dungeons. Somebody forgot to move. Yep, battle rest. He never jumped, he never moved, he never budged. He probably still isn't moving. He's got 6 stacks of intense cold on him. 8 stacks. 9 stacks. Yeah, they're not moving. Oh boy, we did it. Who needs to know mechanics? Hey Alex, good evening, man. Welcome to the stream. He still wasn't jumping. He never once jumped. He died and like he never knew why he died. He'll never know why he died. It will never matter to him what happened. So, oh gosh. Well, hello. They don't call them huntards for nothing. That's true. That is true. Alright, I was getting an item. Yeah, we were getting an item from down here. There we go. Yeah, for that one, Alex, you gotta keep moving. The best thing to do is just to jump in place every couple of seconds. Or like me, you can just jump in place constantly. The longer you stand still, the more it builds up like a frosty debuff on you. Which will eventually kill you. He probably saw everybody jumping and he's like, oh, these idiots. They're jumping over and over again. What a bunch of idiots. Spazzes, I tell you. It must be miserable for a mage, yeah. It must be the worst fight for anybody who has to cast. Like, I can't even imagine how stupid it must feel. You probably feel like you're doing nothing, because you're basically able to do nothing. Like, you could probably get off a Frostbolt and then jump, and then Frostbolt, maybe. I feel like that could still be dangerous. It's the kind of fight that they wouldn't be able to design today because people would cry too loud, you know? Alright, we got all of our Vicral Bones. And it looks like we found all of our items as well. I mean, you got a couple instant attacks as a mage. You got Fire Blast, Cone of Cold. Do you have Ice Lance yet in Wrath? Do you have an Ice Lance ability? I don't know when that got introduced.
not sink down.
Ice Lance is OP, but does it exist in Wrath? I don't think that it does. But I haven't maged. I haven't maged it up in Wrath, so I don't know. The last mage we played was mainly a Burning Crusade mage. It is in Wrath. Okay. Well, that's awesome. So you got a couple of abilities you can hit that are instant cast. Wait, where are we? What happened? Oh, Azul Nirub. Okay. That was a really fast queue. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be so fast. Context. Did I not get a loot bag for the last one? I don't see any loot bags. Are we just not getting loot bags for randoms anymore? I thought we were still getting random loot bags. Maybe I'm way off base. Apparently I have to give this warrior a minute to pick up threat, because otherwise I'm going to get threat on everything right away. That is not what I want. Agent Dad, good evening. Buffalo Bill, you think the lack of the bag is a bug? Yeah. I mean, I heard that they were having problems with it like when they first released LFD, but I was kind of hoping that after multiple extended maintenances they would have fixed whatever the problem was. But yeah, maybe not, because unless I'm just totally missing it, which I don't think I am, we did not get a bag for that one. Camping King, good afternoon. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for being here.
This kingdom belongs to the stone. Only the dead may enter.
We haven't gotten any loot bags since we hit Northrend. Maybe they stop in Northrend. Maybe I'm just not looking when I queue up. Maybe we're not supposed to be getting any. This seems a little weird, but I guess that's always a possibility. Is that we're just not supposed to be getting any? Maybe we're getting the Northrend adventuring supplies instead. Is the tank gonna pull the guy while he's fighting all the other guys and subsequently get killed, or is he going to exercise some kind of logic and patience and do the fight the right way? I don't know. It's like a 50-50 chance. Judging by what we're doing now, it's probably gonna go sideways. They must think the dungeons are giving good enough loot. Yeah, they are. I mean, that's true, but the loot bags are like bad luck protection, right? Like, the loot bag is like, yeah, you're probably not going to get any gear. Yeah, that other guy is probably going to need on it when he doesn't need it and take it from you. But look, here's a loot bag because you have bad luck. Okay, a moment of truth. Okay, he's running back this way, so that's good. He didn't charge the boss as soon as he saw it. Okay, okay. Oh god. Oh no. No. Not yet. No, oh god. Maybe we can do it. Maybe the mechanics don't matter. Let's just do it. Who cares about mechanics? Oh, I'm stuck in place. Oh no. I can't move. There we go. I'm sure it's gonna be fine. If anybody dies, it'll probably be me. I'm gonna cleanse myself whenever I see the poison on myself. Hey, we can just ignore the mechanics, who cares? Alright, welcome to time gating the boss fight. This is kind of one of the worst fights Because, like, no matter how you do or what you do, you have to go through X amount of phases. It doesn't matter how fast you DPS him down. Yeah, unfortunately, everything's pretty easy. Yeah, I don't think that, like, nothing's gonna be a challenge until we're doing heroic plus 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 plus, and then unfortunately, I hate to say it, that even when we're doing heroic plus 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 plus, it'll only be a challenge for the healer. Yeah, that's the sad part about it, is that the only challenge in the game comes in the form of stuff being difficult to heal through. And so therefore the difficulty is only really ever increased for the healer, because when you think about it, like, all the DPS do is DPS and stand-in mechanics. And all the tank does is hit the enemy and stand-in mechanics. And so ultimately when we're talking about, like, increased, like, damage, increased mob HP, we are talking about an increase to the challenge of keeping the group alive long enough to kill the enemies. And that's a challenge for the healer alone. So even when stuff gets harder, it's only going to be harder for the healer. That's the reality. It's a sad reality, but it's true. This boss is annoying because he's time gated. He's time gating the boss. Be Sad Dog, good afternoon. Welcome to the stream. There we go, another one down. Austin, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good hunting.
I feel like we might be done in Howling Fjord soon, and maybe we will head over to Dragonblight and start doing some stuff over there. Then again, like, we're only level 72. I'll say this, like, having the Joyous Journey is great. Like, it still seems like it's going to take a while to get to 80. Yeah, I mean, we're leveling faster, obviously, but we're not leveling, like, hyper fast, you know? It still feels like it's going to take me a while to get this character up to 80. It almost feels like the 70 to 80 experience is going to be as long as the 1 to 60 was. I'm excluding the 60 to 70, but yeah, I feel like the 70 to 80 is going to be as long as the 1 to 60. which is really something.
Let us visit for a while. Good hunting.
Around the world, good morning to you. Welcome to the stream.
What troubles you?
Travel to Moki Harbor. I don't know if I really want to do that. I get on a boat and they take me somewhere. Yeah, I'm not convinced I want to do that right now. Instead of doing that right now, maybe we go to Venom Spite and we start working on stuff out of there. I feel like maybe like a little change of pace would be more interesting. And we'll see. Maybe I'll regret it. Maybe I'll run out of quests to do. We'll see. We may even have to go back and do Borean Tundra. You know what would be really, really smart? If I can ever get a connecting flight point, I could go turn in our Nexus quest. That'd be cool. Like some decent upgrades there, maybe. Yeah, some boots. Right now, I don't think I have a connecting flight point that can get me all the way over there. I would probably need... I'd probably need this flight point, or this flight point. I wish I could tell which one of these were like Horde flight points and which were Alliance flight points. Yeah, I'm missing some flight points. What realm am I on? This is Mankrik. Yeah, I can fly, Alex, but it takes so long. Like, the flight points are faster, I feel like. I feel like the flight points get you there faster when you can only fly as fast as I can fly. Yeah, I could eventually just, like, point myself in a direction and, like, fly, but, man, it's the whole continent. I don't really want to fly across the whole continent. It would be faster for me to Hearth to Dalaran, to teleport to Orgrimmar, and then to teleport from the Zeppelin Tower into Warsong Hold. Or whatever it's called. That would be faster than pointing my mount and then like auto-flying. Because auto-flying would take me a long time. You know? I could take the turtle if I want to go slow. I don't want to go slow. I want to go fast. Around the world, you did the new Gamma ones, the heroic +++ Gamma rune dungeons. It was shocking. Depending on the ones you get, it can be. I remember the worst ones on Heroic ++, the worst ones were the Utgard dungeons. They had a frost mechanic, where like some frost would get laid down, and the DPS would just stand in it, and the tank would just stand in it, and everybody would effing die. And then like I was healing it, so then they blamed the healer. Where were the heals? I think the healer's gear score is a little low for this, wouldn't you say? I think you guys are dumb and you're standing in mechanics, but hey, what would you say? Yeah, the ice that kills you in seconds. Bullshit, right? Around the world, that mechanic, as well as the realization that the only way that content gets hard in WoW is for the healer, is what made me retire from healing. Yeah, I healed for 20 years. And I will never heal again in this game. Any version of this game, I will never heal again. And it was in a big part due to my experiences trying to heal the Heroic ++ dungeons, that especially the Frost one, I realized that this is only harder for the healer. Everybody else they do the same thing. The DPS are stupid, they hit stuff and stand in mechanics. The tank is stupid, he lets stuff hit him and then he stands in mechanics. And the only person who has to do anything different is the healer, because we somehow just have to heal a lot more. And you know, I decided, you know what? I'm done. And so yeah, after getting my healer close to like a 5,000 gear score, I quit. Because there was no effing way that I was going to tolerate that. It got to the point where like I would not do the Utgard runs. I stopped doing them completely. But then the other ones were bad too. It just makes it harder for the healer, and that's not really, like, to me, that's not what difficulty is, but in World of Warcraft, that's all they really know how to do. So, unless it's like a raid with actual raid mechanics that like more people have to be aware of.
What would you ask of death?
Yeah, for healers it's awful. The DPS, you just melt, you know, and you just hope your healer can heal you. There's not really a lot you can do. There's quest for the dungeon in Dragonblight. You're talking about Ajul Nirubra. How am I able to fly? It's really easy. I hacked the game. Now, if you have a level 80, you can buy a thing called the Tome of Cold Weather Flying. And you buy the Tome of Cold Weather Flying. It's 1,000 gold, and you can mail that. It's buying on account. You can mail that to any character on your account. So I bought it on my Alliance Pally over on Pagel, who's level 80, and I mailed it to this character. And that's it. And then you can cold weather fly at level 68. Bella, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for being here. Oh damn, we dead. It's okay, we just melted. Melting is fine. I guess I should have waited for the tank to get a little bit of threat. I guess I don't know my own strength. It seemed like he was doing fine damage. Don't really know how I pulled aggro on everything so quickly. I did open up with every single ability that I had, you know. Maybe that was where I went wrong. Let's see if I catch a res. Okay. At least they're gonna res me. That's polite of them. Oh, it's Ra. Ra's gonna res me, because of course he is. If it was anybody else, they probably would not have resed my ass. Okay. Attempt number 2. I will let the tank hit them at least once before I open up with all my abilities. And we'll try it again and see if it goes any better. Who's the tank? It's not me. Spoiler alert. Not this guy. This dude shows as the tank. I mean, he's got a shield on. Inspect. He's prod. He's full prod. I just gotta let him get a little threat. That's all. Much better. Yeah, Bella, exactly. You know, when you're pugging it, groups will always take it out on the healer. It happened to me several times when I was healing the heroic plus runs. I got kicked from a couple of them. Yeah, and then it doesn't matter. There's no way to gauge anybody else. You know, like the DPS stand in mechanics, and like it's fine because of course they do. They're DPS. They can't be bothered to move. The tank stands there, and like you don't really know what a tank is doing. A tank could be taking a crap ton of damage, and no one's ever going to blame the tank. No one's ever going to be like, yeah, I don't think the tank is using his mitigation properly. I don't think the tank is cycling his cooldowns properly. I think something's wrong with his tank. He's taking too much damage. No, they're going to look at the healer and be like, well, the tank's going down. The healer must suck. It's like, okay, well, what if the tank sucks? What if the DPS suck? Oh, there isn't really a big visual metric for that. Whenever anybody dies, it's just the healer's fault. And that's why I'm never healing again. I decided it was fine that I could retire and that somebody else can deal with the grief. I'll just be one of the stupid DPS that stands and stuff, I guess. I try not to stand in stuff. I'm always ready to bubble myself, especially as a paladin. Obviously, sometimes I don't even realize I'm about to die, but like right now we're getting pretty low. Lay on hands myself. I don't really know with all the tools that the prop pally has how it is exactly that I keep pulling thread off of him. But the thing is, like, so I'm pulling thread off of him, and that's not an indication that he's a bad tank. That just makes me a crappy DPS. There's no metric by which we can like gauge other classes' performance. Like, if they're a tank, it's like, are they getting hit? Yes. Okay, then they're doing good. But no one's sitting there like, oh man, the tank, he can't keep threat off the DPS. No, they look to the DPS. If someone dies, they look to the healer. Obviously, like, I guess the real answer is just to tank. Because as a tank, like, you not only do you not have to worry about whether or not you die or anybody dies, you also don't have to worry about doing decent damage. It's not your job. You just stand there and get hit. If you die, blame the healer. If the boss enrages, blame the DPS. Maybe the answer is I should tank. then there's zero pressure. You just stand there and get hit. It's easy. Mike, good afternoon, man. Thanks for being here.
You know what they say about now to finish.
Around the world, you're absolutely right. Getting mad at anyone in the game is dumb for any reason. Yep. That's absolutely right. Unfortunately, the majority of people who play games don't embrace that ideology. Yeah. As in soccer and hockey and many others, where the default is to blame the goalie. Yeah. Yeah, the goalie is like a tank and a healer. Like, no one blames the defenseman when the goalie can't, like, stop the puck, you know? No one's like, oh, those defensemen, they're absolute garbage. They should have stopped that play moments before it happened. No, all they see is that the goalie couldn't stop the puck, so it's the goalie's fault. You know? To a certain degree, like, yes, that makes sense. Also, though, there are other people to blame if we're looking to assign blame. Also, though, like, assigning blame is kind of pointless, ultimately. Because the team and the group thrives or dies together. So, yeah. Well, remember, around the world, keep in mind that people have been programmed by Mythic Plus keys. And so in a Mythic Plus key, when people die, it doesn't only set you back 45 seconds to a minute. You run the chance of not completing the key on time, which is going to take your 25 key down to whatever rank. And that invalidates a lot of the effort that somebody put in to build up that Mythic key. So, like, a lot of the animosity and anger towards, like, people's time being wasted originates from the Mythic Plus mentality and the Mythic Plus players in retail. And that's Blizzard's fault. Blizzard created a time-based system where if you don't clear the run in a certain amount of time, it's going to deplete the key, which is going to invalidate someone's efforts up until that point. Whoever's key that it is going to be super upset. And that's not a player problem, that's a game design problem. They've designed it to be toxic, basically. And people take that mentality, they learn that mentality in Mythic, and then unfortunately they naturally carry it with them into every other part of the game. So it's not even really players' fault, it's what Blizzard has programmed people to do and has programmed them to feel. It's like any time wasted is really bad, because in a Mythic Plus situation, time wasted could mean that your key gets depleted. Yeah, it's it's complicated. It's not really complicated, but yeah, you have Mythic Plus and you have a key. The higher the key gets built up to, the better the rewards, to say it simply. And it's a time trial, so if you don't clear your Mythic Plus dungeon in a certain amount of time, your high level key could be depleted to a lower level key, which is going to be less good rewards for you, essentially. And so when someone dies in a Mythic Plus run, it's really bad, because you gotta clear that run in a certain amount of time. And people learn how to play 5-mans now by playing Mythic 5-mans. It's how people kind of program themselves. And so they take that negative mentality of like, any death is my time wasted is negative, and here's why. And ultimately, like in this day and age especially, people are really picky about their time. People have fully embraced the motto of time is money, and people do not like their time wasted in any sense, you know? It's just kind of how people are these days. John, good afternoon. Welcome to the stream. Daniel, I appreciate that, man. I feel like we'd probably lose experience off of it. The biggest reason that we're doing these is for the kill XP. But hey, once we get to max level, are you in the guild? You should join the guild if you're not in the guild. Unless you're in your own guild. And then just hang around till we're max level, and then we'll be doing Heroic Plus stuff, and we'll be trying to do some raids and stuff like that. Yeah, but right now we're mainly just trying to level up. It's not even about the gear or anything. I really don't know if spamming dungeons in Northrend is good for experience or not. I haven't been able to get like a really good gauge on whether we'd be better off just questing, or whether dungeon spam is actually the way to go. It's really hard to say. It's yeah, it's hard to say. I think today we'll do a lot of dungeons, and then maybe we'll try a day where we focus on questing just to see if maybe one is faster than the other. This tank is being really brave. I feel like with a dead Death Knight, I feel like this tank is being pretty brave. Not sure where the Death Knight went to that he got himself killed. Not sure why the tank didn't notice prior to the pull. I don't know. Something's going on. Maybe he fell into the hole. Maybe he fell off the thing. Yeah, maybe he fell because he ran back in. I feel like if he hadn't fallen in the hole, he wouldn't have had to run back in. Like this mentality right here where like the tank literally can't be bothered to wait until the current group is dead before he pulls the boss. This is some high level Mythic Plus garbage. The Death Knight has been dead for 5 minutes. The tank can no longer be bothered to wait for one pull to die before he pulls the next thing. And this is what you get in a world where Mythic Plus has been a thing for as long as it has. You just get this kind of gameplay. And you just have to live with it. It's all that you get. We probably won't see our Death Knight friend again before the end of the run. Maybe he'll come into the entrance and help us with the last boss. But other than that, we might not see him again. At this point, though, he needs to come back because we're definitely going after the last boss. Okay, he figured it out. We do get to see the Death Knight again. He's finally back with us. Here, we'll help him out. We know what his end goal is, so we'll help him out. You know, his end goal is to pull in an unreasonable amount of everything, so
There's no truth in this.
we'll just help him complete his goals here. We'll see who forgets to bounce. It wasn't bad.
Life, binder, preserve me.
This had better be good. Beware, our enemy is abound.
I'm gonna drop some of the stuff back in Howling Fjord for now. If we want to go back later, we can just pick it back up. But I need to make some room in my quest log. So we'll just drop some things. That's good.
I am forsaken. Dark Lady, watch over you.
And you, beware.
I'll queue back up in a bit. I want to knock out some of these quests and see if I can get a feel for whether or not questing is more efficient than trying to grind dungeons out. So I'll queue back up in a bit and complete a couple of these quests. Yeah, but if it's only a few minutes between queues, you don't have enough time to actually complete any quest. Mark, do I think I'll ever do an Alliance side Wrath playthrough? Probably not until Cataclysm. I don't know. I might do like an immersive leveling series. Like right now I'm leveling up the Hunter on my other channel. And that's been fun. I think if I do like Alliance in Wrath, it'll probably be a recorded series. I don't know if I would stream it. I think for the streams, since the guild is on the Horde side, that any streams I do for Wrath will probably be focused on the Horde side. I mean, I played a lot of Wrath on Alliance, and my max level character is a human paladin, so I have definitely played quite a bit over on that side. I wish I had a healing potion would be good. I guess I can heal myself with flash heal. A healing pot would be more efficient. Oh, there are people underwater. Well, that's cool for them. Oh, he wasn't underwater. He chased us from very far away. Okay, that's not cool. Patrick, take care. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks for hanging out. John, good afternoon. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for being here. Joseph, good afternoon to you as well. Amy, thanks for popping in. I hope you're having a good time as well. Amy is out of town for business for the entire week. I am alone. Well, not alone, but I'm the individual now responsible for making all of the foods. So I'm alone in that sense. I'm alone in a culinary sense. Yeah, we're 72, about to be 73 soon-ish. Gonna complete these quests here and then we'll queue up for another dungeon. Just want to see what kind of experience we get by turning in a handful of quests.
I'm listening. Watch your back.
What now? Beware the living. Remember, patience, discipline.
I could probably empty my bags out. That would be a good idea.
I am forsaken.
Will I be covering BlizzCon? No. I will not be at BlizzCon. I will not be blizzing the con. I will be watching for news about BlizzCon. I don't have any other plans for BlizzCon besides to wait like everybody else while we hear announcements. Maybe we'll play the game and we'll just constantly be refreshing Wowhead, I guess. That would probably be like the ideal way for me to experience the news that comes from BlizzCon. Would be to hang out, play the game, and just constantly be spamming refresh for any updates. I'm not gonna watch like the live. No, I'm not gonna watch the BlizzCon stuff. I just want to hear about the announcements once they've happened. I want a quick summary of all the announcements and stuff. I don't have like an interest in like watching. I don't even know if I can stream it and react to it in that way. I don't know if that's okay. But I don't have a big interest in it.
Remember, patience, discipline.
A lot of it boils down to hearing corporate people talk. Like, I don't really want to listen to corporate people talk. I just want to know what the output is. And I can get that best from just like waiting for stuff to be like abbreviated on Wowhead or somewhere else. There's a certain amount of like cringe factor when I have to listen to like some of these people talk. And I'd rather avoid it. I think we know what we're gonna get at BlizzCon. I mean, it's pretty obvious. There might be a couple of... If there's any surprises, it'll probably be stuff people don't like. You know, we'll get a retail expansion announcement. We'll get a Cataclysm expansion announcement. They'll talk about the new season of Mastery. That's not going to be another season of Mastery. Maybe they'll talk about some plans for hardcore down the road, like self-found hardcore servers down the road. And for WoW, that's about it. Yeah, retail expansion. They'll talk about 10.2.5 and 10.2.7 probably. Yeah. Season of Mastery 2 at the end of the year. And then whatever their plans are for Cataclysm or for not Cataclysm. And that's probably it. And that's like, that's hoping for the best. That's hoping that they don't have some announcement that they haven't, that we don't know about, that's going to piss people off. Because that's a possibility too. And then I'm sure they'll talk about their other games. Like, I don't really care about any of their other games, so it doesn't really affect me. But I'm sure they'll talk about how Diablo 4 will stop sucking someday. Someday soon Diablo 4 won't suck anymore. Or so they'll try to convince you. You know, same thing with Overwatch. One day people won't hate Overwatch 2, or so they'll try to convince you. And then they'll probably talk a very little bit about their survival game. Because, you know, everyone wants more survival crafting games, because survival crafting games were the trend about 5 years ago. So leave it to Blizz to jump on a trend about 5 years too late. So yeah, one day we'll get to play a Blizzard survival crafting game that nobody asked for. Nobody wants. I'm least looking forward to that. Joseph says, I'm still coping with the fact that you told me StarCraft is not being developed anymore. Man, I'm sorry. It's been that way for years. It's been that way for years. Hey, at least this way you're not hoping for a StarCraft announcement and wondering why it didn't happen. Yeah, I don't have a lot of like hope that they're gonna have anything unexpected at BlizzCon to announce that's gonna be good. I think all the good stuff they're gonna announce is gonna be stuff that we could already basically predict is gonna happen, and anything that's like unexpected is probably gonna be negative. Anything we don't expect at this point is probably gonna be bad. The add-on that shows the upgrades is called Pawn. Pawn. Oh, this guy just dropped a bunch of guys on us. Fun. Yeah, Colonel Boomer says, brutal view, but true. Yeah, like I said, I think the stuff that we are expecting is going to be good. Yeah, you know, we're going to hear about the new retail expansion. You know, they're going to try to convince us it's not going to suck. And then we're going to hear about Season of Mastery 2, and they're going to try to convince us that's not going to suck. And then we're going to hear whatever their plans are for Cataclysm, and they're going to try to convince you that that's not going to suck. It's basically all the stuff we can expect, and then them trying to show you stuff and tell you stuff that makes you think that it's going to be good. Whether or not it will be good, well, we won't know that until we're actually playing it. But like, what else could they announce? I know everyone wants to think, and like I blame Bellular for this. I blame Asmon for this. Is that everyone now thinks there's going to be a Classic Plus announcement. For some reason, everyone really thinks now, mainly because of those two content creators, that there's going to be a Classic Plus announcement. There's not going to be a Classic Plus announcement the way you think. They're not going to announce an expansion for Classic WoW. They would have to have developers to work on that kind of content first, and they don't. And I know they data mine something called patch 1.15 or something like that. Like that's probably the new Season of Mastery server. Probably has nothing to do with Classic Plus. And anybody thinking about it for 5 seconds who wasn't trying to just get clickbait would realize that like a new numerical patch for Classic most likely means it's going to be a Season of Mastery 2 type of server, in that it's not Classic Plus. Like anybody who thinks about it for 5 seconds would know that. Anybody familiar with the game would know that. And so everybody who's trying to put Classic Plus into their thumbnails, they're just looking for clicks. It's pure clickbait, because there is going to be no Classic Plus the way that people want. Not for years, you know, eventually there might be. But it's not going to be, you know, World of Warcraft Awakening, now introducing High Elves and Ogre playable classes. Like, that's not going to be it. That's never going to be it. So, sorry to all those people expecting a Classic Plus announcement out of BlizzCon, but it's not going to happen. Sorry you got clickbaited so hard to all those YouTube videos. Probably could have spent your time doing something more valuable. Yeah, and the people who think Season of Mastery 2 is going to be Classic Plus are also tripping. Yeah. No, what we can hope for is that it's just not as boring as Season of Mastery 1. Yeah, we can hope it's not as boring. It's not gonna... Classic Plus means new content for Classic. Classic Plus means new quest lines, finished quest lines, new zones, new dungeons, new bosses. That's what true Classic Plus would be. That's the type of Classic Plus that you're not gonna get for a handful more years, if you ever get it. If you ever get it. Try to think about how weird it would be to have the same game that has taken like 2 different directions in different parts of time. Like how strange that would be to manage. And then you'll start to realize that it's very unlikely that they will ever do that. It's very unlikely that we're ever going to see Classic go in like a different direction on a new expansion path, because now you have 2 games that you have to make full-blown expansions for. And also, they are not the same game. So they're the same game, but now suddenly you have 2 different games that are the same game. And what happens with expansions is that stuff changes. So Classic, if you get a Classic Plus and you continue to have Classic Plus expansions, the same thing is going to happen one day that happened with retail, which is that you're going to look at the game and you're going to say, wait, this isn't Classic anymore. To which I will say, no shit, it's Classic Plus now. So yes, eventually it also will not feel like Classic, because they will iterate upon design, because they will add content, because they will make changes. And then one day, you'll just be playing a different version of WoW that isn't Shadowland Pirate Dragons, but it won't be Classic anymore. It will be whatever it has become after multiple years of new expansion content, and that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me that they would do that and split players in that way. Maybe I'm way off base. I don't know. It seems like it would be... They can't even creatively manage the progression of one game, okay? Think about the progression of WoW, like especially after Legion, but even thinking about Warlords of Draenor and how bad that was. Think about how poorly they have managed the course of one version of the game. Do you really think that they want to, or that they would be able to manage the course of two versions of the game and make both of those versions of the game good over time? Do you really think that? Do you really think Blizzard wants to get into that, where they're trying to manage two different versions of the game and make them both really good, when they can't even make one version of the game that's really good? It doesn't make sense if you think about it like that. Like, before you ever see Classic Plus content, they're gonna have to make retail good. You know, you can't justify making Classic Plus content, expansion size Classic Plus content, until retail is good. Until the money maker is making money, you can't really justify it. And it's gonna be years before retail is in like a solid place, before we know if like Metzin's work is gonna shape it up or not. It's going to be at least until 12.0, which is not this coming expansion, but the expansion after that. Yeah, David, that's what people want. People want them to fork the timeline. They want to create a Classic Plus where they have forked the timeline and taken the game in a different direction. My response to that is twofold. Firstly, if you do that, it will still eventually not be Classic. It'll still eventually be a different version of WoW that no longer feels like Classic, because there will be iteration, there will be changes, there will be content added, there will be class changes, etc. So eventually it will no longer be Classic still. So even calling it Classic Plus becomes kind of stupid after a point. My other point to that was that what are the odds that they're going to make two versions of the game, make current content for both those versions of the game, and have them be good? When they have not been able to make retail good, for a long time retail hasn't been great. People haven't liked it. So what are the chances that they're going to commit to doing expansion size Classic Plus content and take the timeline on an entirely different... Now you have two narrative processes. There has to be... The narrative director has to control the direction of retail, and now the narrative director also has to control the course of Classic Plus. It becomes a lot to think that they could manage. When they haven't managed one timeline well, it becomes impossible to think that they would ever be able to manage two branching timelines where we somehow fork off, the cataclysm doesn't happen. And that's why I think we're very unlikely to see that happen. Because it just becomes a lot of work for your creative minds. And the creative minds at Blizzard, well, there either haven't been very many of them, or they have done a bad job up until this point. And so I just don't see it. I just don't see that they change the timeline, or that they take Classic in a different way. I don't see them ever really doing that. I could see them like finishing up like stories, like, you know, all the zones in Classic that just aren't finished. I could see them doing that. I could see them going back into areas like the Ajara zone in Classic and adding stuff there. I can see them going into like Silithus and adding stuff there. I could see them going into Classic and making Classic Plus where they make more content from 1 to 60. It's still 1 to 60. There is no like new area necessarily. There are no like whatever. but they've added some quests. They've filled out the quest lines. The quest lines make sense. They complete. I can see them doing that, but I don't think they're going to take the timeline in a different direction. I think that would be biting off way more than they can chew, especially considering their track history for the last 10 years. That's it. TLDR, I don't think Classic Plus will ever be what people want. What expansion added all the movie rip-off quest? Probably Cataclysm. Like if they mean ripping off of like 90s movies and 80s movies. Like the Rambo quest line in Red Ridge. That was Cataclysm's fault. Eric, the axe is the one from Utgard Pinnacle, but I don't have any enchants on it. Yeah, for the original world to move past Cataclysm, you're gonna be waiting till 12.0. When the expansion after the next expansion comes out, that's when they're gonna do the world revamp. Yeah, for 11.0, we're going to the other side of Azeroth. We're gonna see what's going on over there. And then for 12.0, we'll be coming back to our side of Azeroth, and that's when they will have finally updated everything to feel more current, to feel more modern. Yeah, they know that with Cataclysm, they wrote themselves into a corner. It's only taken them 15 years to undo it. But yeah, it's going to be 12.0 before you see any revamp to the old world. And that's why they're not going to do Classic Plus. Because listen, they're not going to be working on revamping the old world for retail, while at the same time they are developing an alternate expansion path for Classic. It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense to think they would do that from like a design or development perspective. They're not going to be redesigning the old world in retail while they're planning an alternate expansion path for Classic era. They wouldn't do that. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, you think the world should be revamped every couple of expansions to keep it current? Yeah, but like what part of the world? What part of the world? You're probably talking about just Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor, but what about other parts of the world? What about Northrend? What's going on there after the Lich King fell? What about Outland? What's going on in Outland after we took care of Illidan? Like, that's the problem, is that there is too much content for them to keep it updated from expansion to expansion. Even every other expansion, it would be... all of their development work would then have to go into updating the existing zones, and they would not have any work left to create new stuff. That's kind of like what happened. That's why we don't get updates to existing zones, you know? Because they have to just keep making new zones, new continents. Here's another continent, and another continent, and another, and you didn't know one was here, but there's 2 more continents here. Here's a floating continent of mist. Like, they have to keep making new areas for us to go to because that's what they feel like they need to do. And so while they're doing that, we can never have zones updated because we'd have to go back and update Northrend. We'd have to go back and update Outland. We'd have to go into alternate Draenor and update what's going on there. They'd have to do too much. There's no way to do it. I mean, there is a way to do it. It's called lots of hard-ass work. But they're not going to do all that work. And then, so what? So you go and update it, you have to change all of the quests. But to change all the quests, there has to be a narrative. So now every new zone, every new continent, now every time we update, they have to have new stories. Which means once those stories are done, then we have to update them again. It becomes an endless cycle of you having to update like 97 different zones in your game. And that's why they'll never do it. and people would be pissed. If all they did from expansion to expansion was to like update the areas that already existed, like people wouldn't like it. People would be like, oh, where's the new stuff? Why don't I get to go to a new area? Why do I have to go to Northrend again? I've been to Northrend. I don't want to see it again. You know, and they're not going to update the stuff just for people who are leveling up through it, because in retail it takes 5 minutes to level up. You level a character in 2 days. Like, you don't need to go through Northrend. You don't need to see Outland. You don't need to go to any of those places, so why would they spend development time updating them? I'm not just taking the piss out of it. I'm just trying to talk through why they haven't updated any zones since Cataclysm, and why they won't. They'll do one more Old World revamp. You'll get Kalimdor zones and Eastern Kingdom zones updated one more time. They'll move them past the Cataclysm. They'll put them as close as they can to the current lore and the current stories. But those stories and that lore is going to continue to grow with each expansion, and they are not going to come back and keep updating the old world every other expansion. Just like they're not going to update Northrend, just like they're not going to update Outland. They're not going to go into the Broken Shore and update those areas. Like, they're not going to do that. It's work that would have zero payoff. Like 2% of players would ever see the content. I don't even really know why they would bother remaking the old world except just to have it done. Because who's going to quest through the old world? Who's going to level up through the old world and actually see any of the changes? Is that going to be the expansion? Is 12.0 going to be quest through the Eastern Kingdoms and quest through Kalimdor again? Because unless they do that, it really doesn't make sense for them to update those zones. Unless they're going to force players into the content, they're not going to make the content. Unless they're going to force players into the content, they're not going to make the content. So if we do get 12.0, and if it is a world revamp, you can expect that your journey from level 90 to 100 is going to be leveling up through Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor yet again. And people are going to be mad about that, you know? There will be people who are super happy to have the world remade, and then there will be people who think it's super lame that they have to level up again through Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor. And then if Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor becomes the 90 to 100 experience, what do people do when they're leveling up just 1 to whatever? What do we do then? Do we still do like Chromie time walking, and what happens to those people? It's all kind of a mess when you think about it. When you think about the idea of updating the world while simultaneously having like current content for like max level people to do, it's kind of a mess what they've done. Private servers have private servers managed to update every single zone in the game that's ever been created, and update all the NPC dialogue, and update all the quest lines, and update all the stories, and update all the characters to match the modern lore, because that's what we're talking about now. We're talking about the amount of work that would be necessary to go back and update all of the zones in the game, not just visually, but also going into the NPCs and going into the quest, and somehow creating like quests that are meaningful for people to do, but that have also been updated to reflect like the current day and age. It's a shit ton of work, and I don't think anybody's done anything like that. They're making new zones, dungeons, and raids. Cool. Yeah, it's easy to make new zones, dungeons, and raids. It's harder to go back and touch every single part of the game that's ever been created and get it all updated. And it's you got to understand. It's not that Blizzard couldn't do these things. It's not that Blizzard is incapable of doing these things. It's not that Blizzard can't make Classic Plus. It's not that Blizzard can't recreate the old world. It's not that Blizzard can't make new zones. It's a cost analysis. They have to decide every time they take an action, is this going to make the shareholders more money? Because that's how corporations have to function in the world. when they greenlight projects, and when they decide what direction to take their multi-million-dollar game in, they have to know that the effort they put in is going to have a commensurate payout to shareholders. Otherwise, The idea doesn't get greenlit. So why can private servers do a bunch of stuff when Blizzard can't? It's because on a private server, you don't have to go to a board of directors, you don't have to go to your shareholders and convince them why all of your great ideas are going to make the company so much money. That's the biggest difference, is that every single new thing that goes into WoW, they have to get greenlit. You get greenlit by convincing somebody that your idea is going to bring more money to the shareholders. That's it. That's it. So it doesn't matter how many amazing ideas Blizzard has. It doesn't matter how many super talented, artistic, passionate people they have working there. They have to get ideas greenlit through a corporate structure. And doing work in a corporate structure is quite different than doing hobby work on a private server. So yeah, it's not that they can't do those things. It's that financially they have not been able to make a case for it. Maybe because financially there is no case to be made for it. I don't know. I'm not a corporate guy. I mean, and people can still, your motivation can be both. Like, you can be motivated by money and by passion. Let's not pretend that there are many successful people out there that are motivated only by their passions, because most people are motivated by multiple things. Most people have intrinsic motivation that comes from inside of them, and most people have extrinsic motivation that comes from outside. That could be your salary. It could be progressing your career. So people have both intrinsic and extrinsic motivations. And yeah, like WoW has been about making money for a long time. It doesn't mean that the game can't be good. It just means that like certain ideas are never going to see the light of day. That's basically what it means. Turn in the dungeon quest. Yeah, I need to fly over to the other side of the zone. Anyway, that's my rant for today about Blizzard and about retail. I'll stop there before it just gets like utterly baffling to anybody tuning in. We'll know all the stuff they're gonna do in what, like a week from now? Is it 2 weeks? What day is it today? It's the 23rd. I can't do math, but yeah, I think like a little bit over a week. 10 days from now. 10 days from now, we should know all of their plans for WoW. You know, and we can all be either disappointed or happy together, or probably some combination of both of those things. We'll probably be happy and disappointed at the same time. We'll be mad and sad and happy all together at the same time. And Mike, did you forget to pay your sub? That's a fair question. Have you been hacked? Another fair question. What I will say, and this is like the honest truth, if you are someone who wants like if you want new stuff, like new content, new things to see in the game, new class changes, new spells, new areas, new dungeons, you want to play retail. Like don't play classic holding out for new. Unless new to you is going to be like a Cataclysm release, you know, because maybe you haven't seen Cataclysm, maybe like me, you didn't play one faction or the other during Cataclysm. Don't be a person who wants new in their World of Warcraft and be holding out for Classic Plus. Because even if they were to announce Classic Plus tomorrow, you're talking about something that's going to be years away. If you are someone who's looking at WoW and you think, man, I really just want new stuff. I really want to see more of the world. I really want to see different stories. I really want to see different characters. I really want to go different places. You need to be a person who finds a love for retail. Because retail is going to be your place where you get to see new parts of Azeroth. The retail is going to be the place where you get new 5-mans. Retail is going to be the place where you get new raids. Like, retail is where you're going to get those things. Classic is not meant to be, and probably never will be, the place where you get new. You'll get seasons, and like, if we're really lucky, seasons might shake up some of the classes. Like, maybe there will be a different meta. Maybe Warrior won't be the only S-tier DPS in a new season of Classic era. But ultimately, the seasons are just going to be a fresh start every year to get people hype, to bring people into Classic era. They're probably not going to be anything super momentous. So I would say if you're a person who's looking for new, and you've just been craving new out of WoW, then you want to look at retail. And you want to hope that whatever we hear out of BlizzCon is just going to be Chris Metzen like spewing how awesome the retail is about to be again. That's what you should really hope for, if you're that person. Yeah, Mike, if you got hacked and they disabled the account, you should be able to go through verification and get access to the account again. I mean, that being said, you might have to put in a ticket, but they should be able to get it unlocked. Ghostly Bones, good morning to you. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for being here. Nobody likes Thrall anymore. Listen, listen, I like Metzen. I don't want to see Thrall in the story. I hope that the first thing that happens when Metzen comes back isn't that Thrall comes out and he's a big main character in the story again. I really don't want it. They had a chance. They dusted Thrall off for Shadowlands or for the end of BFA, for whenever Sourfang showed up in Nagrand and did his little speech about how this place isn't real. That was when they dusted off Thrall. Now it's not any of our fault that, you know, the writers in Shadowlands didn't do anything with it. That, like every other character that was in Shadowlands, he had a bit part to play that was never fulfilling. None of that is our fault. We shouldn't be punished with another Thrall expansion just because they didn't capitalize on dusting him off in Shadowlands. I don't want to see Thrall again. I don't want to see Jaina. I don't want to see any of the characters that had anything to do with Shadowlands and BFA. I don't want to see those people again for a long time. That is not the World of Warcraft that I want. Dusting off the old characters, bringing them back out to play, that's not going to work for me. At this point, I have to be convinced that they can have new characters, and that new characters can be like the future of the game. Because I don't care about Thrall, I don't care about Jaina, I don't care. You know, like there are some characters I could care about. Like I kind of want to know what Medivh has been up to. I kind of want to know how Illidan's doing with the Titans, you know, out in space. But as far as any of the characters that took part in Shadowlands, like the Jainas, the Thralls, the Tyrandes, like I don't care. I don't want to see them again. I might never want to see them again, but I'm definitely still on cooldown. They're definitely still on cooldown. TBH, do I use Pally Power? I do not. You mean to manage, like, what buffs go out and stuff? I don't. I have never used Pally Power, actually, and I've played a Paladin for a long time. Typically, when I get into a dungeon, I do one of two things. I either give everybody Kings, or I give everybody Might or Wisdom, depending on what class they are, and I let the other Pallies figure it out. And if anybody wants anything different, they can reach out and ask me. But yeah, I've never used Pally Power to manage my Paladin buffs. I get into the run and I either immediately give everybody Kings, or I immediately give everybody Might and Wisdom, and then I move on with my life. That is how I've been doing it for a long time. Yeah, Shane, WoW definitely has a an authenticator. Yep. Yeah, Blizzard does have an authenticator, so if you have had your account hacked or you worry about your account getting hacked, you should sign up for the mobile authenticator. That's going to cut down on like you getting hacked, somebody getting into your account. It's like another level of verification that fires off sometimes. If your account is being accessed from an IP that is not common, like if somebody's logging in as you from a different IP address, it's going to hit you up, it's going to let you know. They're not going to be able to get in without the authenticator. The authenticator provides like a 4-digit code that you then have to type in conjunction with your credentials to get access to the account to let it be accessed from a new IP or stuff like that. Basically, at this point in this day and age, like everybody should have an authenticator on their account. Like if you don't have the authenticator on your Blizzard account, you need to get it right away. In retail, they want you to have it so much that they offer you additional bag space in retail for having the authenticator. You get like 4 or 5 more bag slots just for having an authenticator linked to your account. That's how serious they take it. Is that they're willing to actually give you inventory space for linking an authenticator, because you absolutely have to have one. You don't want to be in 2023, soon to be 2024, and not have an authenticator for your WoW account. You really want two-step authentication for any account that matters. Like you want multi-step authentication for any account whenever an account is accessed from an IP address that is not your common home IP address. What are we doing down here? We are looking for Emerald Dragon Tears. Okay. Zesh, good morning to you. Welcome to the stream. Oh, at some point we hit 73. That was probably a while ago. Talent points have been really boring for a long time. I will spend the other one here in Eye for an Eye. Not really sure where we go after that, though.
Elune be with you. Elune light your path.
You go into Prot? Yeah, I went into Prot for Divine Strength. Nothing else was really appealing to me. Reducing stun effects, I don't really care. Reducing the cooldown of Hand of Protection, I don't really care. Dodge could be okay, but only when I'm soloing. Like Toughness, same thing. Like there's nothing like super attractive. Yeah, to me there's nothing like super attractive in any of the other trees right now. I'm not using any of these seals. Yeah, I don't know. At this point, I should probably look up a build. now that I've spec'd myself and I've read all of it, I probably need to look up a build and see what I ought to do. That could be okay. Once we're level 80, I'll take a look. If someone's logged into your account, they also have full access to your email. Well, the thing about the authenticator is that they'd have to have access to your phone. Because it's a mobile authenticator. So the point of it is when it detects that someone has logged in from a different IP address, it's going to ping you. So, and also that's why I said you should have two-step authentication for everything, even for your email. So that if someone who is accessing your email is doing that from an IP address that has not already been registered, you're going to get hit, and they're not going to be able to get in because you're going to have to type in a code, which you're not going to do when someone is trying to access your email from a different IP address. So yeah, it is important to have multi-step authentication for any account that is important to you, including your email. You're assuming that you know how safe I think it is. I think it's as safe as we can get. You know, if you are double authenticating your email and your accounts, you're about as safe as you can get. Can someone get a hold of your information somehow? Yeah, obviously. Like, people are nefarious. There's ways to get a hold of your information. The best thing you can do is to have multiple levels of authentication for any account that you care about, and that's going to cut down on how often your accounts are compromised. Basically, it's like you do what you can do. You do everything you can do, and you hope for the best. Will there be times when someone who has done all that stuff still gets hacked? Yeah, absolutely. But it's kind of the wrong approach to think like, well, you still get hacked, so all that shit's useless. It's all useless because you can still get hacked. Authentication is useless. You'll still get your info stolen because you could. Okay, well, yeah, you could. It could still happen, but it doesn't mean that it's pointless to have an authenticator. They will be hacked no matter what. Right. You'll be hacked no matter what, obviously. So don't protect your accounts. Don't have an authenticator. You're gonna get hacked no matter what, according to you. It's like this. It's like saying that since eventually you'll get cancer and die, that you shouldn't take care of yourself in any way. That you should only eat garbage and you should never be physically active because one day, you know, you're gonna get cancer and die. It happens to everybody. So why do anything in the meantime to have a better time of things? That's basically that argument. Why have authenticators when one day you're just gonna get hacked anyway? Just get it over with. Just let them hack you. They're gonna do it no matter what. I think that's like the complete ass backwards way to think about anything. Obviously. But you do you. Without common sense, everything is useless. Yeah, that's a strange quantifier to have. No, I went on that rant because you're not understanding what I said, but I have an easy solution to it. There we go. You're dumb and you can just go away. You're dumb and argumentative and you're wrong. And so I'd rather you just leave. Thanks. My argument, you should have an authenticator. Counter argument, you could still get hacked. Sure. You should still have an authenticator, obviously. Wear your seatbelt, but I could still get into an accident and die, so I shouldn't wear my seatbelt. No, still wear your seatbelt. It's pretty simple. Why brush your teeth? You're just gonna die. They're gonna fall out anyway. It doesn't make sense. Is this Dragonblade or Boreal? This is Dragonflight. Or Dragonblade. It's not Dragonflight. It's not Dragonflight. I know there are dragons in Ysirus here, but it's not Dragonflight. It's Dragonblight. It's almost the same thing as Dragonflight. Like, sometimes people have, like, a point they're trying to make, and they just don't understand, like, how absolutely stupid it is. And then when you, like, you call them out on how stupid the point is that they're making, and they say, well, with that logic, no, that was your logic. I'm just citing it back at you. That's not my logic, that's literally the logic you were trying to use. And you're right, it does sound stupid. Because you're stupid. It's funny. Alright, now what are we doing? Come look over here. I feel like there's an elite. Do we fight an elite here? I feel like we fight an elite here. Yeah, it's a 74 plus. Okay, we could probably do it. We could probably do it. Here we go. Let's see if it doesn't just flat out annihilate us. That'd be funny. Oh, it has a lot of HP. Oh, we dead. So, spoiler alert, we can't do it. So good. Okay. I don't even know. Now what? Where are we? Oh, we're way down there. Perfect. So we can't do that quest without, like, what? That could take, like, a 5-man group to kill that guy. That was brutal. I kind of had a memory too, David, of, like, getting killed by him. But I thought, you know, time has passed. Maybe things have changed. Maybe I've changed. No, it turns out I'm on the same class I was then, and nothing has changed. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I kind of remember getting killed on the human paladin there back in the day. So I kind of knew better, but I thought, hey, you know, RNG, maybe something good happens. But the fact of the matter is he had way too much HP. Like, I was never going to make a dent in his health. That's what it seemed like, at least. At least it's not a hardcore death, though, so it's all good. Just a minor inconvenience. A lesson learned that we did not need to learn again. I think it's gonna. I think it would take more than 2 of us, Ra. I don't think it's even a 2-person quest. It looked like a 3 to 5 person kind of thing to me. Like, he thoroughly obliterated me. Like, he killed me in like 2 hits. Bella, have a good day at work. We'll see you next time. So, let's go back and we'll turn everything in. And then maybe we'll check out this other hub over here. Depending on where any breadcrumbs might take us next.
Speak quickly. What would you ask of death? Embrace the shadow. Speak quickly. Our time will come. I'm listening. Remember, patience, discipline.
There's gotta be a guy upstairs. A Gale. There's somebody upstairs.
What now?
There we go.
Speak quickly.
Let's see. Scarlet Onslaught Warhorse. Oh god, what are we doing? Are we stealing horses? I don't know if I like it. Well, I think I just killed the horse. Am I not supposed to kill the horse? Like, it seems like I've killed the horse. Okay, okay, this one lived. I'm not sure what to do with him. Okay, wait, I have an item. Okay, let's take a look at the items. No, I still don't know. What is this? Riding crop. Okay. Oh god, and then what, I have to ride this back to wherever I picked the quest up? Is that what I'm doing? Oh no. Oh! Gross. That's kind of how I feel about this quest. I think it's gross. I don't even know where this guy's at. Where are you, dude, who wanted horses? I have no... Oh, here you are. And do I hit this? Okay, 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 I see. Alright, we'll do it. I feel like it's kind of disgusting, but we'll do it anyway. Yeah, vehicle quest, multi-step, multi-stage vehicle quest. We gotta kill a guy, get an item, click a horse, ride the horse. It's like, it's not only is it a vehicle quest, it's a multi-part, multi-step vehicle quest. Yeah, like, okay, I don't know, I killed the guy. I should target the guy and not the horse. Although I'm doing so much AoE damage, that might be kind of hard. Okay, so he dies first, I loot him. Okay, it's not bad. It's not bad. I wish they had like a charge, like a run speed increase, that would be nice. The Pally should be able to res the horse. Yes. I feel like these guys are Forsaken. They're gonna make these into like undead horses anyway. That's kind of the heinous part of it, is like they're not gonna use them as living horses. They are gonna probably like, slaughter them and reincarnate them as the undead horses that we see them actually using. That's like part of why I don't really like this quest. Okay, where's the guy at? Is it this guy? Okay. I'm gonna keep forgetting where he's at every time. Just so you know. At least it was a one and done. Oh yeah, see, look what they did. Yeah, exactly, right. They just, yep, see, they made them undead anyway. They killed them. We just took a bunch of horses that were fine and happy and we led them to slaughter, essentially. What else is going on here? What is this? Commandeer a Forsaken Blight Spreader. I'd rather not. That sounds like another vehicle quest. Can I just not do that? These are people it wants me to kill, specific people. Let's go see if we can drop in on any of them. I don't see a named guy. Okay. Maybe they'll find some baby animals for me to kill next. Yeah, they're Forsaken, so they probably will. Definitely. Oh, hi, you're in the cage. Hello. I think I'm gonna kill this guy. I feel like maybe. My favorite class to play and level up. It depends on what version of the game we're talking about, but by and large, usually the warrior is my favorite class. I'm afraid not. Your time has come. I don't know why I would kill him when I could just break him out of here, but it's a Forsaken thing. The Forsaken like torture, that's why the vehicle quests are there? That's a good point. I hadn't considered that.
What do you require? What is it?
We're even killing a scrivener. Dude is a writer. This is what Blizzard thinks about writers and what should happen to writers. We're killing the scrivener off, because of course we are. Now go back. Okay, we'll go back. Fine, fine, fine. I wonder where he's going to be. He instantly respawned. I'm still looting you. I haven't finished looting you yet. What are you doing? Why? Alright, now we can go. What, was that not the guy? wait. We didn't need that guy? Oh, we got like the guys in the dungeon. Okay. We didn't need to kill the commander. It's fine. We need to kill the torturer. Okay. We killed the commander because, like, when you infiltrate a Scarlet base, you just should kill the commander while you're there, just for good measure. There we go. We got the torturer's rod. It wants us to torture somebody. Okay. Torturer 1 dead. Torturer 2 needs to be tortured. I don't know about all this torture stuff. I'm not really feeling it. I am not feeling it. Where do we torture the guy at? Maybe back in town. I don't know. Back in town by the looks of it. I have no idea what this wants me to do, unfortunately. Yeah, there's somebody here to do something. I don't really know. Nope, maybe this is not the torture request. Maybe I should read the quest. Maybe that will tell me. No, it didn't really tell me. It didn't really tell me a lot that I didn't already know. Torture? Make him collect horses one at a time. Right, exactly. Oh god, I just can't. Alright, guys, I'm gonna take a break here for today. I didn't eat lunch today because I don't have time for lunch these days. I have no time to eat lunch when lunchtime is, and yeah, I don't have anybody making me food this week, so I'm gonna have to get food on my own, which means I need to end a little bit earlier than I normally would. So I'm gonna put us back in Dalaran, and maybe we'll figure out all the torturing stuff next time, or maybe we will just go do something else entirely. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. Stream later. I am not going to have time later to do anything. If I did a stream later, it would be so late that most of my audience would not be around, and I would probably barely be coherent. That is how much later it would have to be for me to stream later. But we'll see. Never say never, but very, very unlikely that that'll happen. I appreciate you guys being here today. We will be back on tomorrow around 11 o'clock my time, so I hope to see you guys there. In the meantime, take care of yourselves out in the real world, and take care of each other, and we'll see you back in Azeroth again very soon.